I know. Me again. Why? Why do I keep filming? Well, because I really don't care what you people think. It's not about you. It's about me. And this is my way of alleviating a lot of stress. And there's good and bad in this video. So I'm actually really frustrated right now. But I'm going to try to relay some positive notes prior to delving into some of the negative that has upset me this evening. Really upset me. So, all right. Let's see. Positives. I'm trying so hard. I only spent $5 of my $10 that I have on hand at the laundromat. So at least there was that positive. Also too, and this I'm not really sure is positive or not. This is kind of TMI. And there I go, TMI all the time. Yeah, I was diving. They had diving boards at the swimming pool, and I've never dove before, and I wanted to try it out. So I did twice. But I'm not very graceful with it because it's the first times I've ever done that, really. And it felt really like it stung a little bit, like up in this mid part where my stomach hit the water. And then he got pretty upset and I stopped after the second time. And they had like a rock climbing wall in the water, so I tried to go up that a little bit, but I couldn't really hold I like have proper footing as I was trying to climb it, so I slipped off. And now he's upset. He's very upset. He gets very mad, I guess, in the sense that like the motion of whatever he's doing in there is very uncomfortable. I'm not sure what that is. It feels like almost like gas, but expanded so much that it's squirming around is the only good analogy I have for that, or whatever description. So I'm exhausted. I ate. What was I going to tell you too? Oh, well, this is TMI. This is TMI. But I went to the laundromat and I washed all my clothes, and I took all of my clothes off that I had, obviously, and I washed those because I'm really, really anal retentive, OCD, about keeping everything cleanly and hygienic, which is so weird. I mean, I know it's so weird, but it's really not, because I don't know. I think too much all the time. So anyway, I've got to keep this video short, but I thought for sure that I had forced him into after I dove those couple times, he was like, I was really uncomfortable because I had swam a bunch of laps after I got off the video. And then when I got out and went to go shower, I felt like it shifted. Like I felt like my water broke. Like that's how it felt, like a rush of fluids. And so of course I checked, and it wasn't bloody or anything like that. It was just regular discharge. But like that's so weird because and then afterward, even with normally I can wear a pair of panties throughout the day and it won't be like saturated. No fluids like that. But pregnancy is weird, and I'm 22 weeks today, and I don't know. So I changed everything. I took everything off, and right now I'm not wearing any panties. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. But yeah, no, and then I was thinking about something earlier that was hilarious. Some of the comments that people were saying on there is I have to like get the notifications off, but I'm quicker at reading than I don't know, than I was years ago. So I skimmed through it just to see what it is, just, you know, the notifications, just to clear them. And I'm not actually reading them. I'm like, not a majority of them I sort of like just skim past just to get rid of the notifications. And I know that's disrespectful. I think that's the point. But I really don't feel like engaging with anybody right now. Not even like playfully in your guys' crazy banter. I mean, I know I'm crazy, so I have my own amount of crazy. Oh my god, he's got a puppy. Bring it over here. Bring it over here. Oh, earlier today when I got to the place to swim, there was a lady walking a little poodle, but the poodle still had his tail, and he had phantom markings. Or she. I think it was a she, actually. But oh my god, it was exactly what I wanted to see. It was so cute. I loved it so much. So, and I just wanted to steal it. No, I'm just playing. I wish, but you don't get away with stuff like that. That's not good for anybody to steal, take from others. So, and I mean, I know because I used to do some stupid shit just to give away. So I've been there and done that with my life. I hate having to repeat it in all of my videos. It seems like I have to repeat everything for everyone because I've got new subscribers that don't know what's going on. And I'm like, I don't know, just watch a few of the older videos if you want, or don't. It's better for me if you don't. I don't know. For me personally. But then everybody's like, oh, you've got, you know, only so many more subscribers you need. And I'm like, need? What do I need? I'm sorry, what? But I need some help. So anyway, I was something about one of the ladies, and oh yeah, there's this lady. She's so funny. She calls and she leaves all these voicemails. I don't know why she does this. I don't know. She always calls from a no caller ID, and she just calls, and like today I don't listen to them. Of course I don't, because it has it where it says it's playing it and then I'll just scoot it along so that it'll just pass the notification. I already got the gist when she left me the first 10 voicemails. It's getting on to like 20 voicemails now because she's got nothing better to do with her time. I don't know why she does this. If it's something she just wants me to laugh about or something, I just don't get it. Like harassing communications. See, this is the type of shit that's truly harassing communications. You think anybody's gonna do anything about that? No. And she's got like, I don't know, death threats on there or whatever. She says some crazy stuff, and I wanted to at some point get out my laptop and play them for you guys so that you can hear them, so that I don't have to deal with it, so that somebody can deal with it and somebody can check her and like, oh, who's that lady? Oh, I think I know that crazy lady. Or who knows, maybe it's one of Jason's fucking hoes and she just calls and bitches at me. I don't know. I really don't know. Don't care. Excuse me. I just don't care. So she leaves these messages and then I just I avoid them. I not even avoid them, I just ignore them. And it's so funny because I placed it on ignore, so she already knows that through what I've stated on the videos, I guess. Otherwise, she's just a crazy woman that got a number and she's just continually harassing me, which is kind of funny. I mean, but not really. I mean, I hope she gets help. I really do. She left one that was, normally they're only like 30 seconds or less. She's crazy, and she just leaves these crazy messages all of a sudden. Well, today it was 1 minute and 30 seconds, so I guess she had to get something off of her chest, and it was hatred toward me, and I'm not really sure why. I guess it's just because she's jealous or something, or whatever, or she's just crazy. Truly just crazy. Some psychopaths are like that. I don't know. And people thought I was, or a sociopath or some shit. I'll tell you, I'm not, but I could be. Phew. I know the mannerisms and their techniques and how they maneuver and how they can gaslight. And I could definitely do it all myself if I wanted to, but I choose not to. Why manipulate others? I have plenty on my own right now, and I'm good because I learned my lessons a long time ago, or so I thought, until like laying down next to a dude and I'm just passed the fuck out. So he just like, nice warm body. Like, that's not right. That's not fair. This baby's not going to have the proper love and support from both sides of the family. You know, that's messed up. And it is building a family, because you've got to understand that it's really sad. Like, I don't understand. Why would you create life with me? Why would you ejaculate in me? That's so weird. That's not normal. And like, the dude was saying something too. He said something about me being so proper with my terms and like using these large words. And I was like, well, that's what they're called. So he had made a comment too, something about, it was something I was going to say about my interaction with him, but I get so forgetful, and I should jot these things down. But why? They're scrambling around in my head, and then I let them go, and then they come back around a little while later, and it's just frustrating. So, and then I'm like, ugh, I forgot to mention this, I forgot to disclose this, I forgot to blah, 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 this. So, anyway, also too, I had been chatting with, man, I hate when people, like, stare at me and stuff, like, if they recognize me somewhere. I just wish I had a home by now. Like, what is so wrong about me just praying for a fucking home and it just happening to happen? Or, you know, like, because I signed up for the housing authority. I already disclosed why I don't have a home right now, because a year and a half ago when I got the voucher, it was only allotted $475 for a rental property, and there were no places available for that price. Everything, the lowest was $550. So when I asked for an extension, because I ended up in the psych ward for a few days, they said that's not a viable medical reason, which is discrimination. So why'd you bite me? No, no. Why? 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 So anyway, what was I gonna say too? Something about, we had been discussing on the couch, me and that guy. Like, I talked to him like at a distance. I sat at a distance all evening. And then in the morning, when we were sitting next to one another, I just sort of scooted next to him, so, because he asked for a hug. So I was like, okay, sure. And when I, leaned in and I was giving him a hug, I told him he looked nice, and I was not really too, when he told me about like him having genital herpes, I was like, I don't know what to do about that. I don't mind being your friend, and I had made that comment about being platonic, right? In my last video when I was eating. So when I ended up, all right, these are the texts that I had received after he had offered me the money this morning. After we had parted ways, he sent me on Venmo $50, and then I didn't think that we had that much of, like, I knew we had a connection. I make connections all the time. People fall in love with me all the time. I don't know what it is. Something about me. Leticia is just the sweetest. Yes, I'm a sweetie pie, but I just don't understand. Sugar pie, honey bunch. You know that I love you. I can't help myself. I love you and nobody else. People think I'm crazy. I don't care. I don't care. I'd much rather just be in my own head than having to deal with everybody else's nonsense. And you'll understand in a moment. These are the fucking texts that I had to write down of this guy. Alright, now you know why I'm crazy. I'm going to relay it in just a moment. But I'm trying to think of more positives just so that I can get over this negative and then get on with my freaking business. And hopefully I won't get in trouble for loitering. Bitch, please. I have a fucking account at these places. They get paid for access. Don't start with me. So I'm tripping because I know that everybody's monitored in their own way. Everybody's tracked and traced. Everybody's kept an eye on and whatever. And they're trying to do that, and it's amazing, except quit messing with me, please. I just want a fucking home so I can hide from you people or pretend like I do, which I never do, not even in my dreams, because I'm horrified. But yeah, horrified that I've just been violated so many times and witnessed naked and whatever. Weird. Like that guy that was sharing my photos. I purposely put those photos up. I want people to know how disgusting I am now after losing 150 pounds. And a lot of people think that it's miraculous that I look that damn good. Plus, you got pregnancy photos, I think, didn't you? That's worse. I'm gross. So, but yeah, I wash my clothes. I'm depressed. I know I need to force myself to go and brush my teeth, but I'm to the point where I'm just like, why is life this way? My baby's kicking me all crazy. Now he's like strong enough to where you can feel it outside of my stomach, and that's horrifying. Everything has shifted. My reality has shifted. I had no idea I would go through something like this. All alone. And then I'm just so picky. I'm just so picky. I can't help it. I don't want that. I just don't want it. And you can't make me have it. No. And if you force me to, I'll fucking scream. And I'll fight you. And then I'll bite you. And I'll do everything that I can to get away from you. So yeah, and I'd rather be dead. So fuck it. I know that sounds privileged. I know that sounds entitled. But that's the point. I'm done. I don't care. And I'm not even that entitled or privileged. I just think everybody's fucking crazy. And they stole from me. And now I'm just like living super impoverished. And like, I don't know. There's so much that I wanted to relay to you people that I keep forgetting. And then even in those instances where I remember, I'm like, ugh, I'm not at a point where I can film, so it's not like I can get that thought off my chest. So yeah, I'm gonna convey what had happened, because this is gonna take a minute, obviously. Hopefully the video doesn't cut me off, because I forgot to delete that hour-long one for some reason, and I took a snapshot, but now I can't post stuff on Facebook. Maybe I'll do it on Instagram then, where it says I have 51 of my 64 used of my gigabytes. There's plenty of room for these videos. Quit cutting me off, please, just because they're long and I'm ranting. I don't care if people watch them or don't. That's the point. So anyway, he asked me, he was like, did you get the money? And by that time I was driving. I didn't know, and I don't get notifications on my Venmo. I get emails, but I don't get like notifications for that stuff or any of my stuff. Excuse me. Excuse me. Gross, I just sneezed all over my hand. And I'm gonna go touch everything. I'm gonna make sure to touch everything. Not sanitize it at all. Be like you ingrates. I'm just playing. Where am I? I've seen some stuff. Interesting stuff. One time I was walking through Walmart. I think I conveyed this story before. And the lady was about to sneeze and she pulled down her mask. And she sneezed. And then put it back up. Oh my God. Priceless. Priceless. Why do I see these things? Why? They're so much fun. Like and I know I can't pick point and laugh about everybody. Everybody laughs about different things, and I laugh at myself anyway, regardless. So he said, "Did you get the money?" I said, "I can't thank you enough. I hope you have a wonderful day." And so he said, like, that kissy face. And he said, "I wanted to kiss you, but I didn't know how you felt about that." I said, no. Then later on, he had said, "Did I say something wrong? Have you lost interest? You've been very quiet today." Okay, like, I left his side at approximately like 9 o'clock or so, maybe 10 at the latest, something like that. So by the time I went swimming and everything and showered up and all that, because I wasn't around my phone, like, I was around my phone because I filmed for that minute, but then I put it away, that 20 minutes or whatever. So I put the phone in a plastic bag there next to the pool, and I didn't touch it until later on because I was wet and I needed to shower and I needed to do all these things, and it takes me forever sometimes because, like, I hadn't showered well. I hadn't showered entirely. Like, I rinsed off the last few days, but I haven't showered fully since like Tuesday or so, Monday or Tuesday. So that's like 3 or 4 days. But like I said, spot treatment there. You got to make sure you get the spots to make odors and everything. Juicy. Juicy. Gross. Okay, so anyway. And I have an interesting way of dealing with things. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just, I'm cray-cray. That's what it is. Okay, so he said, and then I said at 4 o'clock, "I just got to my phone after swimming and showering. I was busy. Sorry." He said, or no. Yeah, this is him. "It's okay. I just like you and I was feeling insecure. Not your fault. I have codependency issues. Do you want to see me again?" And I told him, "I used to suffer from that too. I wouldn't mind spending time with you again as long as it's platonic for the time being." Then he said, and this is interesting to me. This is where it gets interesting, and we haven't even begun to read the rest of it. Okay, let's get it this far, that I didn't lead this man on. I only was around him. I told him my story. When he hugged me, I sort of sat close to him because that's what he wanted, because he wanted physical touch, and that's what he said was one of the parts of his, that's one of his love languages. So I was trying to be polite and courteous because he was my host, because he was being polite to me. I didn't go above and beyond. I did not caress him. I did not put on that show that I do when I cuddle people. I told him that I went through professional cuddling for about 6 months, but then I stopped that because people were making me physically sick from touching me. I just, I get their feelings, their weird energy, and then I can't even like wash it off. It's terrible. So I told him that was platonic, that there was nothing involved in that, no sexual intercourse or anything, but it was very sensual. Like, I would caress people, like light massages, things like that, but I was getting paid $80 an hour to do it. So that's about what my affection, if not more, costs now, because I'm done offering it for free. So, and that's how it is. Like, I would love to offer it free to one person, but that one person is nowhere to be found. I don't know who that person is. And I wish that I had some means of supporting myself and this child, because I see how people look at me. And then, like, I was driving out of a parking lot today, and there was this hot, like, Asian dude. I don't know, but he was super tall, like hot Asian, super muscular, and we made eye contact as I was driving by, because my hair was curly and I had my dress on or whatever. And he turned around and he looked at me as I left, because I knew that we had engaged in whatever that was, attraction. And I get that a lot. I get that where people have an initial response of attraction toward me. And, but anyway, he was nice looking. He was a nice looking guy. And it takes me kind of a second to realize that they're actually attracted. So I guess, I don't know. I don't feel as though I led him on. I felt like I was just being myself, but people think that I'm being flirtatious. People think that when I'm telling them so much, that they may be the only one I'm telling. And I'm like, no, I tell everyone because I'm searching for my one, and I want them to acknowledge what I've been through so that I can just be and not have to ever repeat it again. And so I feel like he got really confused about that. I purposely did not give him hugs. I did not give him like any extra attention because I realized how he was reacting toward it. He was overly stimulated. He was overly sort of joyous in that way, or like I don't know, kind of jittery almost. So he's an odd person, I'm not gonna lie. I was not necessarily interested, but it was even worse when he told me he had fucking herpes. So I thought, I didn't want to use this guy. I didn't want to be rude like that, or he offered me dinner, and he had already offended me prior by telling me that, adoption was an option. And I said, no, we all know how I feel about that. You're not going to fucking steal from me again. So, but yeah. And I think it's funny that people think that they can own me, that they can like force me into certain situations. Sure, I comply for a short time, but that doesn't mean that I actually agree with what's going on. Nor do I agree with like all the things that I see around me. That's why I comment on them. Because fuck it. I would rather be dead, and I would rather people know the honest truth than to, from my perspective, than anything. Like, in my opinion, it's something that is none of anybody else's business, really. What I do, how I go about things. So, some people walking in their cars. It always distracts me when I have to film around people. Why? Why can't I just have a fucking place so I can harp about this shit, so hopefully one day somebody will fucking fix it? That's all I ever fucking do. Look around and wonder, do you have any humanity left in you? Do you have any integrity or dignity? Like, what is wrong with you? What are you worshiping? The almighty dollar and the fucking devil? Obviously, bitch. That's why gets really interesting, okay? This is how it proceeds, because I'm telling you, I did not flirt with this dude. I thought about putting makeup on just to try to, I did put a little tiny bit of makeup on, but not like foundation or anything. And I was gonna like do my hair just to be polite or something like that. I'm so grateful that I did not put the effort in. They're never worth putting effort into. Even with Jason Wallace, when I met him, I was dressed, my hair was up, in curls, but there's photos of that. I looked like a school marm. I did. And I guess that's what he was attracted to. He was like, okay, yeah, totally want to fuck you. Like, you look like a teacher and teach me a few things. I mean, I could, but I don't. And the fact of it is that, like, I was asleep. And even this guy, he can vouch for that, which is weird because he actually pinpointed that I was homeless prior to me disclosing it. But he said he had never come across the word vagabond before. And he had to look it up. And I was like, okay, whatever, like, and you're the one prescribing people pills. Interesting. Like, all this stuff. Watch. And let me read this to you. Because I literally have away with people to the point where they become obsessive over me, and I didn't understand that. I didn't know that this was going on. I thought it was just normal, but it's not. I attract crazy. I totally do. So I ended up, I have heartburn right now. Must be all that stuff I ate. Should have had some more lettuce and everything. So, geez Louise, what was I just saying? I'm exhausted. This stuff is exhausting. I'll just go ahead and read a little bit. Interesting, he states. I wouldn't call what we did this morning platonic. What? What? I was like, what? Horrified. What are you talking about? There's nothing that we did. We did not kiss. We did not exchange anything but hugs. And then you paid me after I left. I didn't ask for money. I just mentioned a couple things. You asked me for a pay thing. You asked if I had Cash App. I didn't have it. I don't. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I guess I'll need to get a Cash App at some point for people to give me money. It's weird. I don't know. So anyway, I just stick with whatever. Like, I'm very old school, because when the things that first come out, I just kind of stick with, because that's what I'm used to. I don't feel like dealing with all that nonsense of looking for the better this and this and this. The hell with it. Just to hell with it. I'm done. That's why older people, when they're set in their ways, I can completely understand where they're coming from. I am very much like that. Very conservative, very like set in my ways, very stubborn. Okay, I'm very stubborn. So, but like, and I can relate to everybody. Even like the Southern, the woman that I spoke with this morning that had the Parkinson's, she was Southern. I loved her to death. I love her, I have nothing against Southern people. Nothing against any genre of person or categorization or classification of people. None of it. I have no qualms with anybody. As it's the individual. It is solely based on the individual, because there's a lot of people that give people a bad rap, even with me and homelessness. When you say that word, they're like, oh my God, what are you going to be doing? Shitting in the sink? Like, because the homeless people I've seen, all on drugs and shit, and I'm like, what? Why are you categorizing me as some kind of batshit crazy, on psych meds, on whatever? No. Get over yourselves. I do this because I want to. I want to stay away from everybody. And if it were my choice, I wouldn't interact with anyone. Everyone's crazy, it seems like. How often do I get to come across sane people? I don't have that opportunity much anymore because I'm not in school. And even the people in school, this guy is allowed to prescribe pills. He went to 2 years of schooling, and then afterward, like, I don't know. Not much. And then he's allowed to give people advice and shit. What? You're destroying people's lives. So, this is interesting. It gets really good. So, he said about I didn't think it was platonic. That's what made me want to kiss you. Maybe it would help if you define what platonic means to be you. What? What? I go off of the basic, Dexter's Web, whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or not Dexter's Web, yeah, what is that? The dictionary. The regular fucking Webster dictionary. Webster. Not Dexter. Yeah, so, like, what? I'm completely confused. Like, I go off the definitions that I've learned in the dictionary. Okay. So, like, nothing sexual, right? And I didn't, when he told me herpes, and I was just sitting there listening to him, like, in shock, and he thought I was still all into it, I guess. I just didn't say a word. Yeah, I let him talk. And men get all in their heads, and they think, oh my God, she's totally into me. She's totally this and that. But like I said, he was overweight. He doesn't work out. He doesn't brush his teeth before bed. That's the type of person. His house was a mess. A mess. There were so many things just compiled everywhere, hoarder style. Even in his bedroom, there were bras strewn everywhere. Just like, I wonder what his son thinks. I'm horrified a little bit because I'll just read on, I guess. You definitely aroused feelings in me that go beyond platonic. And it's not necessarily that it's sexual, but more romantic feelings, more like a soul connection. It's hard to explain, more like, no, it's hard to explain. And I know I do that because there's a lot of people that tell me that we were meant to interact because we have so many similarities. I'm not denouncing that. I understand that these are soul connections in that way, that I reach out to people and my soul touches theirs, and vice versa, that I feel empathy for their situation or sympathy, dependent on what they've been through. So I bring out compassion in most people. And whereas they don't see a transparent and genuine and intelligent person all in one, they usually see a bunch of nonsense by different people, and it's very sad. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's why, and he is 39 years old. So, okay, let me go on. By 4:30, I had messaged him back, and I told him, well, I suppose I'll have to message back about that because I'm trying to drive at the moment. Sorry. So I was driving. I had driven after showering. I didn't chat with him because I was busy making videos, which is part of just that's my life. I don't care. I would much rather do that as my form of therapy than to do other obnoxious stuff that's going to, be self-harming. So he ended up writing back, no problem. Where are you going? And at that time I was literally driving. Like I was literally just started the car and everything, like was on my way. So by 6:45, okay, by the time I'd gotten to where I was going, I started my laundry and everything and all this and that. I think this was in between me going to Walmart and getting my food ready. So by the time I was done with my food and everything like that, because I was, I mentioned I went to Walmart, I talked to the maintenance guys. My maintenance light is on. I need new brakes. I don't have the finances for that. And my maintenance light is on. I'm tripping out. I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's just the brakes. I don't know if it's anything else. That obviously something's wrong with the outlet over here. So I'm very, very nervous. I'm very scared that one of these moments I'm just going to be homeless and somebody's going to take advantage of me, because even as I was doing laundry, there were people that were living in the hotel across the way, and they noticed me in the dress going in, and they were all just sort of chilling on their balcony and everything, a bunch of worker guys. And one of the worker guys went over with his basket full of stuff to dry as I was there. And then as I sort of turned and everything, I knew they were discussing me, and I knew that the guy was attempting to come over to see if I were available in that way, but then realizing that I was pregnant because of the firmness of my belly. And that's horrifying. It's kind of like one of those things where it's a kind of a protective measure, but it's kind of not, because psychopaths wouldn't mind raping a pregnant woman, because then they wouldn't have a kid out of it. So that's horrifying. I'm very scared. I'm very scared for my life all the time. You have no idea. And I'm a very tough person, so I put on that, tough face where I look like a bitch constantly, because I never know who's going to come up to me and try to take advantage of me, or try to just whatever they do, steal from me in some form, even if it is just psychological. So, stealing from my sanity. Like this guy. All right, because apparently he needed more than just my time that evening. He needed a whole lot of talking here, okay? So I said that, and then he said, where are you going? And then by 6:45, he responded back. He said, I really don't get you. I feel ignored. You can't, you act all interested in me, and then you leave and, wait, barely, okay, and then you leave and barely have anything to say to my texts. Sorry, I was scribbling this so quickly, and it's in cursive that, anyway, because I had to do it this way. There's no other way of me taking pictures right now. I have no other electronics. So this is me conveying what true crazy is through whatever this was. All right. I felt ignored. You act all interested in me, and then you leave and barely have anything to say to my texts. It's not like you have a job or drive for hours. What? Didn't I tell you that that's all I do? Isn't that what I've exposed to you? Is that I drive, and that, like, my job is to just survive and stay away from people. Then, he says, or drive for hours at a time. So, I don't mean, and then he says, I don't mean to sound like a bitch, but I've really just asked you a few things. I feel like you're inconsistent. He has known me for one evening. I disclosed all of my horror to him because he kept asking, he kept prodding, and I wasn't going to be rude, so I told him the truth. He understood, or so I thought. And then he mentioned that I was inconsistent. I am not one to text, nor did we have a bunch of text conversations prior, and I posted those photos on my Facebook, and then the ones in between these that I'm reading, and the ones that all I said was, can I go over to your house for dinner? And he was like, sure. So we had a few little texts back. He had a huge message of rules, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll abide by them, like, no problem. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know what's going on in these people's heads. I do not know. I'm very confused. Okay. So I responded, don't contact me again. And I get those words from my rapist. Jason Wallace told me, do not contact me again. And that's where I get this confidence to tell other people, just don't contact me again. That's insane. So, the way that he got on my throat for not being around within a few hours to text him back, and we're not in a relationship. I literally just met this dude. I don't know what goes on in people's minds to where they believe that we're all of a sudden like soulmates and in a relationship forever and all this and that. I really don't know what's going on. Do not know. It's completely horrifying. So, okay. He messaged back, okay then. But very shortly thereafter, messaged me this entire book after I did not respond. And this is how I'm sure Jason Wallace thought about me, that I was just batshit crazy, that's not his fucking kid, and whatever, and I'm just a hoe. But I ain't. And that's the fucked up part, is that he's gonna get karma from fucking with a decent human being. That's the most fucked up thing I've ever goddamn heard. So this guy goes on, and he says, I'm sorry, I really don't understand. I really liked you, and thought you felt the same. I thought we had something special. Everyone thinks they have something special with me. I don't know what that is. I understand that I see to their soul, and I see to these people, and I try to tell them like these attributes about themselves that I see, that, I compliment them. I tell them these things. In that way of like, I'm relaying what I see. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. In the world around me. How are these people allowed to have so many privileges? I swear to Christ, if someone like that ends up getting full custody of their kid, and I didn't get full custody over like wow. I know it sounded similar to this kind of stuff, but when it's to a complete stranger, a complete, like, person you've only met for one day, that's crazy. That's why I thought it was crazy that I'm having a stranger's baby. That's weird. I'm having a stranger's baby right now. I don't know that guy at all. I didn't know him at all. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that he would be so dishonest and so dishonorable in such a way. But apparently he says it's not his, so whatever. We'll just go with that. We'll go with what the men say, because they've always been right. Right? So, and that's what I get in trouble for and get kicked off of Facebook for, is because I generalize. And I'm like, hold on. Who's the ruling class here? Aren't they white and male? So, I don't know what to say to you, aside from I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of seeing crazy get allotted more than non-crazy, and then you force non-crazy to be crazy just so that it looks like whatever. Okay, whatever. So it goes on. I also tried to help you with the apartment. What he means by that is that he gave me information toward apartments that were affordable housing, which I might not even be able to get into because I don't even have like a deposit or anything, no type of money whatsoever. I have nothing. I'm literally broke as fuck. So he said, because it was like, I don't know, some type based on your affordability of what you've got, whatever. So, and sent you money. What? I thought we had something special. I also tried to help you with the apartment and sent you money. This is the message he sends only hours after sending me money, and we haven't had much communication. So he's under the guise that he owns me now, I guess, because he gave me money. Because he gave me information toward apartments I might be able to get into, that I might be able to afford. So, and I told him, like, and I'm not trying to be rude about the herpes. I was trying to be nice. But when he told me that I was inconsistent and all this shit, how is that inconsistent? I just went and worked out. I just went and did my own thing and showered and stuff. I'm not going to be consistent in a new relationship like that when it's about texting you all goddamn day. What? I thought you had a job. I thought you were doing things with your life like you said you were. But everybody is always like that. They just want to manipulate. They're not actually doing it. They're just hypocrites. So, it goes on. After you left, I felt like you acted like you weren't interested. Like I didn't exist. I'm glad that he got that, because that's kind of the impression I was giving him. Kind of like the impression Jason Wallace gave me. And I felt it. So that's cool. I mean, I get it. If that's how you feel, I'd appreciate it if you would just tell me. I felt like you